Hey everyone, Daniel here and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you are having a great day out there. As always, the CEO of Voyager Digital, Steve Ehrlich, just went on yet another interview on CoinDesk talking all about Voyager, the platform, the stock, some updates pertaining to the token, and a lot of information about potential growth moving forwards. So if you enjoy these updates, please consider subscribing. And if Steve, you're watching this, I love all these interviews, man. It's absolutely phenomenal getting so many updates on the company when we're talking about Voyager here. But anyways, let's get into it. We started talking about the platform outage yesterday. Voyager, along with many other different cryptocurrency brokerages and exchanges, actually shut down. Now, Voyager shut down for around an hour. It seems like that's roughly what a lot of the other exchanges had to shut down for. During that time, they scaled very quickly and they experienced some unreal demand. And we got to go through some statistics here right now. When we're talking about growth on the platform, this is something that's good for both shareholders of the company and owners of the actual token, as both benefit from new user growth, new customer deposits and trades. But yesterday, in the past 24 hours, we have seen 6x, 6 times more money entering the platform than leaving the platform. That is very big, as it shows the mentality of cryptocurrency investors within the Voyager platform. They're the kind that buy the dip. Yesterday, when cryptocurrencies were crashing in a massive way, we didn't see a lot of individuals selling out of their cryptocurrencies and leaving the platform. What we saw instead was these individuals going in, depositing money, and buying the dip on a lot of their favorite names. And when we talk about being potentially net buyers, Steve Ehrlich said that they had more buy orders than sell orders of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Dogecoin, again adding on to the sentiment. And just generally kind of, just the cryptocurrency investors on Voyager are the type that don't panic sell, but rather buy the dip. And that's very good from the point of view of either a VGX shareholder or a Voyager Digital stock shareholder, as it really shows the user base of the platform. He is, though, seeing a rotation out of Bitcoin and a lot of the larger assets into other projects, smaller projects, right? And this is very interesting because what we've seen over the past couple of hours and over the past 24 hours is Bitcoin kind of slightly recover along with some of the larger names. But what we've seen is something like a Cardano, which is obviously smaller, recover much more than Bitcoin. Why is that? Potentially because we're continuing to see that rotation out of Bitcoin. And what investors saw over the past kind of day or two here is maybe Bitcoin fall 20-30%, while something like a Cardano falls 50+%. So they see that potentially as an opportunity to get out of Bitcoin, which isn't down as much, and rotate into smaller names like potentially Cardano or Polkadot, smaller altcoin projects. So that's a very interesting trend that he noticed, and that may be something that we continue to see throughout the remainder of the year. Again, that potential rotation out of the larger names like Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. Ethereum's a little bit smaller than Bitcoin, but into those smaller projects like the Avalanches, the Polkadots, the Cardano and whatnot. Now, talking about the reason for this crash, he mentioned kind of the main thing he focused on was an overreaction to China. This is very interesting, as we did get some news pertaining to China, potentially banning cryptocurrencies yet again. We talked about this on my video yesterday about this cryptocurrency crash that we experienced. But what we talked about there was the fact that the main reason for the sell-off was actually margin calls and liquidation. We actually saw that right around 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just a massive drop because of all of these margin calls and all these liquidations. So what Steve here said about this overreaction to China, in my opinion, what we actually saw was potentially this China situation trigger a drop in cryptocurrency prices, which then managed to trigger margin calls and thus liquidations, causing a further sell-off in the cryptocurrency industry. Again, nothing really fundamentally changed with most cryptocurrencies out there with China, but just generally speaking, that's kind of what we had happen, and that's Steve's expectations. He did say, though, that he expects growth or continued incredible growth over the coming months. Great to hear from the CEO of the company. Now, on the topic of Elon Musk, as we know, he has been absolutely playing around with the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies across the board. But Steve said that his influence is diminishing within the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency sector, as he's going very back and forth with a lot of these names. I mean, yesterday, it almost seemed like, rather a couple days ago, it almost seemed like he was crashing Bitcoin and crashing all of these different cryptocurrencies by saying that, Bitcoin's awful for the environment, Tesla's going to stop using them. But just yesterday, he tweeted that Tesla has diamond hands. So he's very back and forth. And Steve said being this back and forth is really diminishing the influence that he has within the industry. But he does agree that over time, Elon Musk is going to have less power in order for Bitcoin to really become that dominant force in the cryptocurrency industry. Talking about maintenance mode, he was asked about, what was Voyager doing within maintenance mode that really was, or kind of like what happened during that time? You were down for an hour. What were you guys doing? So he mentioned that Voyager has been experiencing exponential growth. And hear this. This may be the most important part of this interview. Over 500,000 total funded accounts as of today, guys. Huge. That's absolutely huge, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why right now. This is a chart of Voyager Digital's essentially kind of growth when it comes to revenue, net deposits, new funded accounts. And what we really want to look at is total funded accounts, as it really does dictate exactly what's going on with the platform when it comes to user growth. We'll see that at the end of April, this number was at over 400,000. As of today, May 20th, around a third of the way into May, we have already increased that number by upwards of 100,000 new funded accounts, meaning that going into the month of May and going into June, we can expect total funded accounts throughout the month of May to end at anywhere from 530 to potentially 550,000 total funded accounts. That is huge news, guys. And if you watched my video yesterday on, Steve Ehrlich was also on Fox News yesterday, or Fox Business rather. When he was introduced, the introducer actually kind of said that Voyager has over 600,000 traders, and that wasn't really confirmed, and a lot of people thought that might have been actually just speculation or just flat out false, right? But by the looks of it, Voyager now has over 500,000 total funded accounts. Absolutely huge, and I will be making an update video on the VGX token within the next couple of days here. I'm getting to it, and I'll go through exactly what the fair value of it is based on these new kind of account numbers. But again, we're seeing phenomenal growth into May. And just generally speaking, May will be record-breaking for a company like Voyager when it comes to revenues, profits, trades executed, and principal value traded, because of the volatility that we're seeing, along with the growth from total funded accounts. It really shows the continued support of the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. Anyways, next, he talked about kind of like stress tests and how with the stock market, a lot of these brokerages can perform these stress tests on the weekends, right? Friday, 7 p.m., you're done. You can perform all the stress tests you want over the weekend. But the thing about the cryptocurrency industry is that it is a 24-hour industry. There is no sleeping within cryptocurrencies. And, because of that, we have a situation where a Voyager has to do these stress tests within trading days. And he didn't mean that this is what they were doing during that maintenance mode period, but just generally speaking, that's one of the things about cryptocurrencies. They're a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 days a year industry, and there isn't any weekends to do maintenance modes for a company like Voyager or a platform like Voyager, so they do sadly have to do this throughout the day. But again, this is something that all brokerages have and had to deal with in the past. In the future, he expects Voyager to be able to handle over 10 million total funded accounts at one moment in time. He said, quote, in the near future. So, we really don't know exactly when that is, but we do know that they are focusing in on that 120-day system upgrade, which should, fingers crossed, be finished sometime in June. So, if we do end up getting that, waitlist gone, which is absolutely phenomenal from a growth standpoint. Now, one of the individuals at CoinDesk asked Steve about Voyager versus Coinbase's valuation. And this kind of pissed me off a little, guys, because it really does reflect my opinions on how Wall Street is valuing a company like Voyager. And if you watch my channel, my videos on Voyager, you know that Voyager is significantly undervalued compared to a company like Coinbase. I'm going to link that video down in the description down below if you haven't watched it yet. But what this interviewer did is use Voyager's Q4 numbers. So that is essentially October, November, and December. Back then, Voyager was a completely different company, guys. And if we just go back to kind of my numbers here when it comes to exactly what's been happening, you'll see that preliminary revenue has been growing significantly month over month over the past 4-5 months, to a point where even if we use December numbers alone, Voyager is so much ahead of that by amplitudes of 10, 20, 30x. So we can't use those numbers. And if Wall Street analysts end up using those numbers, that may be one of the reasons as to why they're not buying Voyager stock, because we don't have Q1 numbers yet. Tuesday, we'll get them. That'll be Wall Street's first look into Voyager as a company. But a lot of these individuals, a lot of these institutions are being so ignorant when it comes to, Voyager's valuation, where they are here today, what they're reporting on a monthly basis. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please feel free to do so. I update you guys on everything that happens with Voyager when it comes to growth, total funded accounts, all new updates with the company. And I give you guys my opinions on that because, there isn't any other source, any other institution that actually looks into these numbers and sees the bigger picture with Voyager. It's absolutely crazy. And I think this interviewer fully showed exactly why, Wall Street isn't getting the bigger picture, because he said a company like Voyager is trading at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times cheaper, or rather more expensive than a company like Coinbase. In fact, it's the other way around. So let's keep going here. Now talking about Coinbase versus Voyager, he made some very interesting remarks. First, about average revenue per user. Coinbase, $35. Voyager, $100. I'm not sure exactly if this is on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. He didn't mention that. I personally believe it is on a monthly basis, but again, he didn't confirm that. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Next, he talked about active users as a kind of percentage of verified users. So out of all verified users on the platform, what percentage actually execute a trade on a monthly basis? With Coinbase, it's only 7%. With Voyager, 35%. And talking about growth rates, Voyager is growing much, much quicker than Coinbase on a month-over-month basis, and will continue to grow significantly more than Coinbase over the coming months and over the coming years here, as they are much smaller, and in my opinion have a much, much better platform when it comes to obviously being commission-free, offering interest, 50 plus different tokens, so much more, kind of interesting stuff going on at Voyager, and I really think it's one of the things that allows them to differentiate themselves from a company like Coinbase, which is a much bigger and much more established company. Now, last thing that I want to touch on here before we get going, Steve said that no one knows the numbers for March, April, Q1. He said no one knows that. What's very interesting here is that, sure, institutions, Wall Street doesn't know those numbers, but we kind of know those numbers. They reported numbers for January and February. We made assumptions here on the channel for the month of March, for the month of April. So we already have a bit of an expectation when it comes to what Voyager will be reporting on Tuesday. And I think Wall Street is completely blindsided to what's about to happen with Voyager, where they are as a company, and the pathway of growth they have moving forwards. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you have any opinions on anything that Steve Ehrlich said, whether it be China, Elon Musk, Bitcoin, Coinbase, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you all next time.